I just watched the Chicago Bulls have one of the most exciting games they've played this season versus the Miami Heat in a win, a 114-109 win, where I saw a team be engaged and locked in. And since the All-Star break has ended, I have seen this one too many times, and I'm now ready to say it. Ladies and gentlemen, Chicago Bulls are going to make the playoffs. Now, if you are new to the channel, please like the video. Please subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago Bulls weekly on this channel. It's the only channel talking Bulls, how Bulls fans talk. So make sure that you get in tune with us, man. Listen, and this is not I don't want to say it's not joyous revelation for me, but it is one that I know is not the best outcome for the Chicago Bulls. But as I continue to watch a team who, since the All-Star break, has been competitive in every single game that they have played, since from moving on from Zach LaVine, they have absolutely gone out there and played with heart that we have not seen a Chicago Bulls team play with in a very, very long time. Dare I say, since the first 35 games of Lonzo Ball. And just looking at where this Bulls team sits right now in the play-in and the two teams that they just beat, I truly believe that in 2025, we will see the Chicago Bulls be a playoff team. And it's not just, it's a feeling, Pat. They're just on a hot streak. It's going to end. No, it's because of how they're winning games. Right now, where the play-in sits right now, the Miami Heat are 7, the Hawks are 8, the Magic are 9, the Bulls are 10. The 9-10 matchup is the first matchup, and it feels like this is a Bulls team that wants to go out there and give it everything that they have. This feels like a Bulls team very similar to a previous team, the Baby Bulls, that just does not have quit in it. And when we started the year, I don't know if we could have said that about the Chicago Bulls, but now we're to a point where we can say that this Bulls team is going to go out there and compete every night. And I like that from the standpoint of, this is what I want to see the team do. Where it scares me is when I look at the teams that we're going to be going up against in the play-in tournament, if everything stays as it is right now, and it should. Miami Heat only have 29 wins. Next best team is the Detroit Pistons with 35, so I don't expect any shift here. Nobody behind us can find a way to win a game. The Raptors have won 3 straight, so maybe they can catch up to us, but they're still 4 games behind us. The Bulls would have to have the wheels completely fall off, I think, which is still possible, and I think is the better scenario. I want to say that, too. I am looking for this team not to make the playoffs. The best case scenario for the Bulls right now, I think, is to not make the play-in, because when I look at the teams that they're going up against, while I don't always think that the Chicago Bulls have the best talent on their team, I don't think that the Bulls have the most talented players. I do think there is talent on this team, but when you talk about star-level players, right, I don't think the Bulls have anybody anywhere near close to Bam Adebayo. I don't think the Bulls have anybody anywhere near close to Trae Young, right? When you look at the Magic, I don't think the Bulls have anybody near close to Paolo Banchero. I think that there's just talent on those teams that is better than kind of where the Chicago Bulls are right now. But right now, I would say the Chicago Bulls are showing the most amount of fight that any team in this NBA is showing outside of your top level teams. They are giving it everything they have on a night in, night out basis. And while I love that from a foundation building standpoint, while I love that because in the grand scheme of things, right, if you find a star player and you place that star player onto this team, now all of a sudden you have this foundation of players that's like, we're going to do everything we can to make the playoffs because we want to be the best that we can, and we want to put everything there, and it entices people to actually want to play on your team. I think it's a good scenario from that, but it is not a good scenario in the sense of where you're going to be drafted, because if you make the playoffs, now all of a sudden you're talking about dropping farther down, possibly even dropping out of the lottery just by making it into an actual playoff series. And what's your reward? You get the Cleveland Cavaliers in the first round, and they probably go out there and absolutely thrash you. The only way that this becomes worth it is if you have some magical run where you're an 8th seed that makes it deep into the playoffs. And we're talking about the Chicago Bulls in the Eastern Conference Finals. And even then, I'm still kind of looking at it sideways, but at least then there's something tangible to hold on to and say, hey, maybe this team has a shot. But where it stands right now, when I look at the 3 teams above the Chicago Bulls, and listen, if you disagree, I understand it. Hit the like button. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. But this is a team right now that no matter what, they are going to have a moment in the game where they are fully locked in. And tonight in that fourth quarter, this Chicago Bulls team, yet again, I mean, you did this 2 nights ago versus Orlando as well. This Chicago Bulls team is locking in a way that we haven't seen in a very long time. And on top of that, dare I say, there may be a star player emerging in that locker room. Could there be? I'm telling you, Josh Giddey's picking up the phone after every game, calling AK up and saying, hey, I said 30 million. I thought I told you 30 million. And that's where this gets dangerous. You're starting to have guys play some of the best basketball that they have seen. And I think that that's why right now, when you look at how Josh Giddey is playing, even Matas Buzelis, what he's been chipping in, and he's kind of come back to earth. The 3 ball hasn't fallen, right? But just getting to the bucket, finding his way to the free throw line tonight, shooting it 4 for 9, still contributing 5 rebounds, right? 13 points on the night. Zach Collins giving you a 6 for 11 night. Kobe White giving you a 6 for 16 night, but chipping in 21 points and being very impactful when needed. That's how you get to a point where you have a quarter where you can hold a team to 19 points and then another quarter where you can hold said team to 20 points. The Bulls didn't have a great offensive night tonight in the first half. They put up 48 points. And in the second half, 66 points. Great night there, maybe if you want to speak to it from that aspect, but didn't shoot the 3 ball well. But they woke up defensively in the fourth quarter. You outscored the Miami Heat 36-20 in the fourth quarter. You controlled the game. Whatever message Billy Donovan is preaching right now, it is reaching the players. And because of that, I truly believe you are going to have a Chicago Bulls team that in this play-in format will win 2 games to get out of the play-in. Now, that is not the scenario that I want the Bulls to be in. The one thing that I will say is, and hit that like button if you haven't done so, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. We talk Bulls weekly on this channel. The one thing that I will say is, if you're going to do that, this is a draft where I feel a little bit better about you making the playoffs, because I do think there is still some really, really good talent in the draft, especially as far as big men go later on in the draft. I've been talking about Danny Wolf a ton. I think Danny Wolf is an absolute dog. I think he's somebody that pairs really well with what the Bulls have here, and I think there's some good talent there. I think you can also talk about the Bulls possibly going after the big man from Duke, although he may be a top 10 pick. He may not be there, but I think there's some people who are also going to move up, of course, during the tournament, and we know how draft positioning changes in that scenario. It's just, listen, there are still pieces that I think the Bulls have an opportunity to go after and build on what they have going on here. But it is going to be a bad scenario in the sense of, if you've got a top 5 pick in this draft, you really look at this team and feel like, wow, they fought hard, they've played well, they've competed to the fullest, and now we get to add a top 5 player to that. Now, AK's got to pick that guy, right? And he hasn't done that with a dude like Patrick Williams on the team, right? You got to pick the star player the right way. You got to find that guy that's going to turn into that. And I don't know if you believe that AK can do that. And so there's that conversation. That's a completely different conversation. I don't know if he can do it at 4. I don't know if he can do it at 10. He clearly can't do it at 18, because I saw Walker Kessler in a game and me and Hayes went, wow, this guy can play basketball. Maybe the Bulls should sign him. And the Bulls went, nah, let's go Dalen Terry. Now, Terry's been playing well, but he ain't no Walker Kessler. So prepare yourselves, Bulls fan. Prepare yourselves, tankers. Prepare yourself to all of the people who are on the side that wants the Bulls to just be an absolute, utter disaster. Because whatever message Billy Donovan is putting out to his team, Josh Giddey is carrying that torch. Kobe White is carrying that torch. Trey Jones is carrying that torch. Zach Collins, Kevin Huerter, Matas Buzelis, Julian Phillips, all of these guys have accepted the message and are playing at a different level on both ends than what we've seen this Bulls team play like this season. Prepare yourselves, Bulls fans. Prepare yourselves, tankers. It's going to be a playoff season for the Chicago Bulls. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. Let me know if you think I'm tweaking. Let me know if you think I'm out of my mind. I'll be down there talking with you guys in the comments as well. As always, man, it's your boy, Pat the Designer. Back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. See, Red Nation, stand up. Peace.